as a follow-up question here too, I'd like to ask you, you do plan on at some point getting married, I'm guessing, or no?
Yep.
Okay. Are you planning then, since you have this career, on having your children be babysat by babysitters, or do you plan on staying home and taking care of your kids?
My family can help.
Yeah, that doesn't, I mean, that's just dumping them with somebody else, right? Are you planning on staying home with them or not?
No.
You're not planning on staying home with your kids?
No, I think working a 9 to 5 and then coming home after.
And do you think that it's optimal for kids that they don't have a stay-at-home mom, or that they do have a stay-at-home mom?
Optimal, I think either could work.
I didn't ask if either could work. I asked which one you think is
Tony
optimal.
donated $100. As me makes my sprinkler go
It sounded better before.
Yeah, which thing do you think is more optimal for the children?
Optimal for the children? Well, optimal is both parents stay at home.
Who's paying the bills?
That's not.
That's the most optimal, though. Like, I don't get that question. Like,
in a realistic scenario.
That's not, so instead of giving a dishonest answer, give an honest answer. One parent is going to have to work. There's no way around that, generally, right? But two parents don't have to work, again, generally. In that situation, do you think that it's optimal if one parent does not have to work to choose to work when they could stay at home with their kids?
Do I think it's optimal that... This is such a loaded question, because you're saying if you had to choose one, if you had to, like,
there's always going to be one.
It's not loaded.
If you do you love your mom or dad more?
It's not who you
Choose.
pick.
Now, hang on. When we dive into this, so I'll answer your question first, okay? Love my dad more.
That's crazy.
Does that make you feel better? Now,
that's crazy.
To you, can you actually answer my question?
I don't think it's optimal, no.
You don't think which thing is optimal?
I do not think a mom staying at home is optimal.
Really?
So what is optimal?
I think see, that's the thing. I think optimal is depending on each situation.
You think that strangers raising your children is optimal?
Why are we assuming that both my parents worked growing up? I don't care what you say. If you're like, oh, it makes sense
optimal?
Now. There's after school programs. There's things, and then you go home.
Strangers.
You see your parents a perfect amount of time. You see them all the time on
weekends. What makes it a perfect
weekends.
amount of time? What would be your frame of reference to make the determination that was a perfect amount of time? Wouldn't it have been better if your mom had stayed home with you?
Not necessarily. I love to see where my mom is in life. I love to see her success.
No, for you, not for her, for you.
Yeah, for me, it's a great role model. I like looking up to my mom. So I think, yes, it was optimal for me.
So you can't actually say right now, right this second, in front of everybody, that you actually believe that it's not optimal to have a mom stay at home with her children. I just want that reaffirmed.
That's why I said it's a loaded question. I think it's determining.
It's not loaded.
It depends on the household. But the reason I'm saying it's not optimal, if you give me the choice of two, yes or no, I'm saying no.
Okay, well then let's get hyper specific, because otherwise you'll make the bold claim that it's loaded. You have two parents in the household. One makes enough money where the other one doesn't have to work, but they won't be able to do all their vacations and fun time and stuff like this. But the mom can stay home with the kids, should she?
And I'm going to give a direct example. My parents, my dad was well off, where my mom did not have to work, but she chose to. And I...
What?
So, question.
Wait, you're
And that was optimal?
That was optimal, yes.
Your dad...
And so if you were to take all of the research, it's because you like research, that's been done on this topic, showing whether or not the outcomes for children who are in a home where they have a present parent which outcomes are better for children?
But what do you mean present parent? Because she was very present. It's just you had to.
No, who stay at home with the children. I'm sorry. Stay at home with the children versus babysitters and outsourcing childcare. The mom stays home. Which outcomes for the children generally are better, with or without the stay-at-home
You're acting
mom?
like they're sleeping in the office. They're.
Which ones are generally better for the children? Which ones?
Having a parent figure around or not having a parent figure around.
No, that's not my question. Out of these two, these two summarizations, one, you have a mom who stays at home, two, you do not. That's it. Those two things. There can't be both, right? Just one or the other. The outcomes for the children in those situations do better under which model?
The mom staying home.
Right, the mom staying home. So, wouldn't that then, if you thought that you wanted the best outcomes for children, lead your logic into the belief that if the mom can stay home, she should?
Not necessarily, because in my, like I said, in my case,
in general.
You say there has been like stats of that when a child or children have their mother figure specifically present, especially in the first years of life, and I get it, like you're saying 9 to 5, come home, okay, great, but like I'm talking like around the clock for those first couple of years, or I don't know what the exact statistic was, but they have way less like mental issues, and just in general they are better off when they grow up to have that, I forget what it's called, but like when a mother gives birth to their child, that bond or whatever, like that touch to touch, that mental bond that keeps going through their first 1 year, 2 years, whatever, and to not have that, or to have that be lesser, could negatively impact them. So I'm saying, I think he's saying statistically, I think it's optimal for the woman to be home, or the mother.
Okay, so hold on. So can you tell us a little bit of details, and then we're going to move on. We lingered way too long. So your dad was well off.
Nickelodeon donated $100. Apparently Dad was only communicating with the nanny, which is why JoJo doesn't know how to communicate with men. You still think Mom was a good role model?
that's hard.
Do you want to respond to it?
I don't know how to talk to people. I agree.
Okay.
It's wholeheartedly.
All right,
I do have a question for her.
Hold on. We have another one coming in. Hold on.
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $100. Men are proven better at child rearing, but they are also better providers, so the best case is the mom stays home and does what the dad says. When it comes to the children, the patriarchy is here for you.
Based.
I just love Grid 1 Motorsports, by the way.
Yeah.
Got to be my favorite chatter to this point.
Oh, he's super based. Super based. Wait, okay, so my question for you is, you said your dad was well off. What are we talking here?
What do you mean?
When you say well off, like, it sounds like your mom didn't have to work. Mm-hmm. But she chose to anyway?
Yeah.
Did you have to pay for, or did they have to pay for childcare so that she could go to work?
Yeah, we had babysitters, after school programs.
Even though she didn't have to work? Mm-hmm. How much was she making? Do you know?
Oh, she's a lawyer.
She's a lawyer? Your dad, I assume, is...
He's well off. I'll just say that.
Is he a business owner, or...?
Business, corporate stuff.
He earned more than your mom?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. You have an example in your own life of a woman dating up.
But he wasn't up. He wasn't up when they met.
Huh?
He wasn't up when they met. He was like...
She married him, right?
They were high school sweethearts. But he was like a high school dropout, pretty much. So what do you say then? They got married and he was like a high school dropout.
Okay.
Oh. So she married down in
maybe
this
she saw the potential.
That's crazy.
She saw the potential. In any case, the man she ended up with and married to was so well off that he could have an attorney. Oh, stay at home. You don't need to go make 6 figures. But she chose to anyways.
Yeah, she chose to.
Is it a 7-figure a year type of dude?
I feel like I shouldn't release that information.
Wait, I have a question. Are you politically, how do you consider yourself?
No, what do you think I am?
I don't know. Are you? I'm trying to see if you're
I
like
would
a
say
socialist.
that you're a social progressive, as much of a social progressive as you can get, even if you don't think you are. That's what I would say.
What are you politically?
I'm more to the left, yes.
Are you socialist?
I would say I'm more of a capitalist.
More of a
Yeah,
capitalist.
she's a social progressive. So she's a
Okay.
social leftist. Basically, these are called status quo progressives. So, yeah, I love capitalism and some patriotism's good, this and that, but everything else is through a left-wing frame. So
Okay,
that's
I
a
see.
social progressive, essentially.
Okay. It's interesting. What kind of law does she practice, or
Right now it's like more contract law.
contract law? Yeah. Is law really like? I don't know. I mean, if your she could have not worked. Is that correct?
Yes.
But she chose to work?
Yes.
It's never too much money.
I think she's viewing it like, I think her
All right,
standpoint,
okay.
your standpoint's more, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but based on like the points that you're making, I think you're viewing it as the potential breadwinner in a relationship, right?
Well, then
But, like-
wait. Are you? I really want to move on, but
Yeah.
are you arriving at a point here soon?
Yeah. So, so like, what I'm saying is like, okay, you say that you would want to like stay not an at-home mom, but like you have to keep in mind that even though you are a breadwinner in a relationship, if you decide to date someone who does not make the same amount of money, if not more, and like let's say you have the baby and you're like, oh sweet baby, I want to stay with you at home now, who's gonna be making the money?
Next.
So you're saying opinions change?
What?
So yeah, his career path could change too. He could maybe start wanting to make money.
Could,
Yeah,
but
but
doesn't
other
mean
things
it
can
will.
happen outside for the question you asked me. What about that? What about the fact that other things could also happen that you didn't detail in your hypothetical? What about those
Well,
things?
it's a
though?
hypothetical, so
They're
that
like-
means there's a lot of
just so you
outside
know, just so you know,
factors.
it's one of those
I think
dishonest
she's just the
exchanges.
outlier.
Yeah.
Getting an answer out of you is like pulling teeth. It's
Sure,
a nightmare.
it
It's
is.
a ghoulish nightmare. to get just a
I'm an
straight
absolute
answer.
nightmare. I agree with that.
Why she has been on
Wait,
one
you've been
date.
single? I was gonna say you've been single for 2 years. All right.
It's all
Wait,
making sense now.